The real rush is easy. Ah, easy like Sunday morning. Woo! That's the jam. Good morning, everybody. How y'all feeling this morning? What J-Dub would like for you to do this easy Sunday morning is go ahead and turn the volume up on this motherfucker and bang your head to the opening riff. Woo! Hear the set of pipes your boys got going on here? Huh? You hear the vocalistics? Boys about to fuck around and become like the fourth Commodore or the fifth Commodore or the sixth Commodore, maybe even the seventh Commodore. I don't know. How many Commodores were there? Huh? So there's two mysteries I gotta figure out. Either how many Commodores were there, or how do you get someone to cook a ham in your honor to improve your love life? Because word around the campfire is that if you store the ham bone in your freezer from the ham that someone has cooked in your honor and bestowed upon you, it brings good luck to your love life in 3 months. So what's going to happen first? We figure out the mystery of, the ham in my honor to improve my love life? Or how many Commodores there were, or whatever, that your boy's going to beat to be the next one of? Huh? Whatever. Unsolved mysteries. What's happening, y'all? It is your boy J-Dub, and welcome to episode 51 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. And if I seem just a little bit aloof, maybe even a little bit more than usual, I'm not sure. I'm always like this. I'm in this vessel that is called J-Dub, so I'm always watching shit through J-Dub's eyes. I don't know exactly how crazy this man gets, or how I get, whatever. But if I seem a little bit aloof, that's because we had that third Friday of the month bandit show last night, ladies and gents. Let me tell you, I know I say everyone was epic, but this one was more epic than ever. And I say this because we had a couple members come back off a hiatus that hadn't performed with us in a while, and just the way that it all culminated over the preceding days leading up to last night's show, I likened it as if like our rehearsal on Wednesday was like the last Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania, with last night being WrestleMania, and on that Raw, like Undertaker and Stone Cold showed up, and then all of a sudden everybody showed up last night, and it was fucking awesome. Wish I could have been there if you weren't. You missed a lot of new games and shit going on, y'all. We had ourselves a blast. Good times were had by us bandits, and by all who came out. And I want to thank y'all for coming out. And I want to give a shout out to my bandits. I'm so proud of y'all. Past, present, and future. I see big things. I see big things. Gonna bring a tear to J-Dub's eye, y'all. Yeah. So, let's go ahead and get on down to the brass tacks of what's going on this episode's Real Rush Ticket. Now, there were 3 new releases this week, but we only had to see 2 because we saw one of this week's releases last weekend, and we already reviewed that for you last weekend. So if you ain't been privy to my Instagram or my Facebook the last couple days, then you might not know. Or if you didn't watch last weekend. Let's boil it down like this. If you come to this episode looking for the review of Downton Abbey, you're going to have to go back to last week's episode. You're going to have to go back to episode 50. Because we had the advanced review for that shit. Very in-depth, non-spoiler, all last week. So if you're looking on this one, whomp whomp, you can still continue watching this one and then go back to that one. Or vice versa. But both ways, this is how you're going to get your fix of this weekend's new releases. So Downton. Yeah. We already checked that one off the list. So we only got 2 new movies to review for y'all this week. And since both of these in my eyes are potential blockbusters, I'm not exactly sure once again which one I should start off with. We caught up with another dual dilemma, another bonsai dilemma. So should we start off with A, Brad Pitt and Ad Astra? Or should we start off with B, our boy Sly Stallone returning as John Rambo in Rambo Last Blood? Let's go ahead and get on down. Let's roll with Pitt. We rolling with Pitt, baby. Cause a lot of people, even though the movie's getting good, feedback, there's still a surprisingly great amount of people still on the fence about Ad Astra. So let's go ahead and kick things off with Ad Astra this episode. Now, Ad Astra. It's a new science fiction film from James Gray, the director of The Lost City of Z from a few years ago. And this stars Brad Pitt. Now, this takes place in the not too distant future, and it stars Brad Pitt as a NASA astronaut who has been given the task of traveling to the far reaches of outer space, somewhere near like the Neptune region, because he finds out that his long lost and well thought of as deceased father, famous astronaut played by Tommy Lee Jones, is actually, may actually still be alive. And not only may he still be alive, there's been a series of events that have been going on around the world that have been caused by some force in outer space that is causing all types of power outages and just things shutting down. It could threaten life as we know it, all existence as we know it on Earth, unless this is stopped. So, Brad Pitt, his character Roy McBride, is brought up with the task of going out not only to find out whether or not his long lost father is still alive, and also not only to find out whether or not he is behind the disturbances that are going on, but also to find out whether or not he actually succeeded on his original mission in the first place. Finding outer life in this big old universe. Because, yeah, it's me. We floating around this big ass universe. It's a little arrogant to think that we the only ones floating around this motherfucker, right? Now, just from the previews alone, it looks like it might have a little bit of like a interstellar type feel to it. Right? There's a lot below this. It goes a lot deeper than the surface of what you just see in the trailer. There's a lot more to the movie than what you just see in the trailer. A lot of people are going into this one expecting some big action movie and walking out disappointed because of this. That is quite unfortunate. But let that be a sign right there. Don't go in there expecting a big old action movie. That is not what this is. What I would like to call Ad Astra, the way that I can best explain this movie, is that it is a space neo-noir with an apocalypse now vibe to it. I'm going to say that again. A space neo-noir with an apocalypse now vibe to it. I put a little bit of a Casey Kasem spin on that one. So we got Brad Pitt in this. We got Tommy Lee Jones. We got Ruth Negga. We got Liv Tyler. We got Donald Sutherland. And it all boils down to, yes, it is a science fiction film. Yes, it is about going into outer space, traveling to outer space. And yeah, there are some action sequences in it that are really well done. But more than that, as I said, deeper, beneath the surface, without giving anything away. It also tells a very human and emotional tale on top of the science fiction. Blend that all together, and you have yourselves one amazing piece of film work here, ladies and gents. Film only. Alright, so how do I usually rate my movies? One of the ways is how long the movie is versus how long it feels. Ad Astra has a running time of like 2 hours and 4 minutes. It felt like an episode of a TV show. By the time it ended, I was like, huh? That's it? Is that quick? Really? Like, everything happens on screen and you get so invested in what is happening on the screen, so in depth, that in itself, it's almost as if you went through like a little wormhole. Huh, did I just give something away there? Maybe not. No. Because J-Dub doesn't spoil shit here on The Real Rush. But yeah, Ad Astra, I would put it right up there with the likes of Interstellar, or I've even heard it compared to Solaris, either of the two versions, neither of which I've seen, I know, or Gravity, which I still have yet to see as well. But where does that noir part come in, and the Apocalypse Now part come in? That part I won't really want to give away, except for the noir part. It has the feel to it, as if like, what's the best way to put it? Well, if you take like detective movies from like the 30s and the 40s and such, and if you blend that together with what Ad Astra brings to the table, booyah. So maybe if you had like a little bit of like a Citizen Kane mixed with like Apocalypse Now and put some outer space into it, has that kind of feel to it. Are you intrigued? You should be. Because this is not your average run-of-the-mill, let's go out to space and drill some holes and save the universe type movie. No. It's much deeper than that. And it's so good. So good. So good. So good. So good. So good. It's for you. Yeah, y'all. Ad Astra. Insanely well done. It has the same cinematographer as Interstellar, Hoyt van Hoytema. The cinematography in this one is awesome. This just may be the performance of Brad Pitt's illustrious career. I would want to put it up there. He's had so many good roles. Honestly, off the top of my head, outside of Tyler Durden in Fight Club and Mickey in Snatch, honestly, his best role to date, aside from Ad Astra, would be that of mental patient Jeffrey Goins in 12 Monkeys, which he got nominated for a couple times as Best Supporting Actor. There are glimpses of that Brad Pitt in Ad Astra. And that is what makes this movie so damn good. A little bit too early to tell, but I wouldn't put Brad Pitt out of the running since we are coming up on that time of year when it comes towards Best Actor nominations. I mean, look at Arrival a couple years ago. Who saw that coming out of nowhere and getting a Best Picture nomination? Could Ad Astra very well be on that same radar? I wouldn't rule it out, ladies and gents. Let's go ahead and put your support behind this movie, same as you did Arrival just a couple years ago. Check out Ad Astra, absolutely 110% lootly. I saw this in IMAX up at the Air and Space Museum, the Airbus IMAX the other night. Of course, being a space movie, that was a perfect place to see it. I recommend you do the same. You do want to see this movie in the highest quality possible. The visuals and the sound, everything is just so stimulating. Enough to get you percolating. Ha! So Ad Astra, y'all, playing everywhere. This is most certainly not one to miss. Go check it out as soon as possible. And last up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket is the other movie I mentioned a couple moments ago. we kick it we gonna wrap things up here tonight with the final installment in the story franchise. For now, we'll just call it the latest installment in the story franchise. And I am talking about Rambo Last Blood. Survive war. You gotta become war. Fucking love that line. I fucking love that line. Yo, so, childhood favorite of mine, Rambo. I know I stated last week that I had only seen like Rambo First Blood and like Rambo 2 at a very young age. But your boy retains some shit quite well. So yeah, everybody remember Rambo. Well, Rambo, he's still around. So Sylvester Stallone still holding it down as Rambo. If he can still hold it down as Rocky Balboa, you know damn well that he can still hold it down as John Rambo. Now, in this installment of the Rambo franchise, not to give anything away from the last one, but Rambo is back home in America. That's not giving anything away. He's been living a quiet life, you know, on a ranch, tending to horses and stuff, living with his family. Well, under some terrible circumstances, his niece gets kidnapped by a Mexican drug trafficking and sex trafficking cartel. Just some really nasty shit that's going on there. And of course, it's up to good old John Rambo to break out his skill set that he has tried so hard to keep a lid on these last couple years, you know, live just a simple, normal life. Well, that Rambo, it's got to come out for the sake of the life of his niece. And you know that when that side of Rambo comes out, people are gonna get fucking whacked, man. And in the most grisly way possible. So, if you've ever seen a Rambo movie, you know just about how uber violent that those movies can be. And this one is no different. This one plays just as if it was made in the mid-'80s. Like it has that type of retro action feel to it. And a pretty good plot to boot, if I do say so myself. It might sound cliche or formulaic, that of a retro action movie. But in my honest opinion, it still works. This movie had me just engrossed in it, just as any other Rambo movie that has preceded it. The action in it is on point. You don't go to movies for this for any type of award-winning performances or anything like that. No, you're going to go in it to watch Rambo kick a whole ton of ass and still look good while doing it. What? Sylvester Stallone's like what? Like 72, 73 at this point? And the boy's still holding it down. Yes, sirs and ma'ams. Now, overall, this movie has not been getting the best critical reaction. And there is a little bit of controversy surrounding it. A lot of people are saying that it is too formulaic, that it is too much of a throwback, that it is too gory, that it is too violent, and that it's getting some negative feedback based off the fact that certain races are upset at the fact of being portrayed as drug-dealing rapists or rapist drug dealers. So, it's being called xenophobic and things of that sort. And quite honestly, I have to boil that down to, and this might just be, my 2 cents here, but that just boils down to the fact that we have a lot of snowflakes growing up in this fucking generation. And just before you get all upset there, let me explain. Now, the Latino community got upset because they were being portrayed, as I said, drug-dealing rapists or rapist drug dealers. Well, that's a duh right there. Nobody wants to be portrayed as a drug-dealing rapist or rapist drug dealer. Nobody likes being portrayed like that on screen. But at the end of the day, somebody's got to be the villain. And no matter where it took place, somebody's gonna be upset. So, I mean, quite honestly, y'all, like, just stop taking shit so seriously all the time. They make movies like this so you can disconnect your brain from, what might actually be going on in society, or how, what certain stereotypes might be portrayed on the news or whatnot. Like, this is made for you to disconnect from all that and just go have a good time at the movies. And I promise you that if you go in with that kind of mindset, you'll have a good time as well. And the reason that I defend that standpoint on the movie about, nobody likes being portrayed like that, just take it from my example. Like, there are plenty of movies where I've seen the brother play the straight up villain, just nasty people in some action movies. And the reason that I can defend this is because, you know what? There's been a good couple times where, I could see that shit happening in, Baltimore or, DC back in, 88 or some shit like that when it was the murder capital of the world. So, just disconnect your brain. Just let go of reality. Go be entertained, okay? Don't be too serious about that. I don't think that the violence is too terribly grisly. If you've seen one Rambo movie, you should hopefully be a little bit, desensitized to that kind of stuff these days. But honestly, Rambo, Last Blood, 1 hour and 29 minutes of pure retro action. So if you're an action junkie, you're going to love this already. And if you haven't caught up on the Rambo films, do you necessarily need to know or have seen any of the previous ones? Honestly, this one does a really good job of being on it, not necessarily a standalone, but doing a really good job of not setting the precedent that you have to have seen all four or any of them really going into it. Does it help? Absolutely. But it's not going to hurt if you haven't seen a Rambo movie up to this point. This might make you want to go ahead and pick up the Blu-ray pack that had all four Rambos in it. But yeah, Rambo Last Blood. Yeah, choice, y'all. Don't believe all that negative hype. That all that is just quit your whining. Get some cheese to go with that fucking wine, why don't you? Seriously, y'all. Just go out and have a good time. Have a good time. And if you're gonna take a movie like that too seriously, then just shy away from it, okay? Maybe it's not for you. But, hey, entertainment, y'all. Entertainment. Don't get it mixed up with reality too terribly much. I know. It could be a struggle these days. You got reality TV that's faker than pro wrestling. Yeah, I said it. Fight me on that shit. Anywho, Rambo Last Blood. I loved it. And if you're an action junkie, I think you're going to do the same. Go check it out. But don't bring the kids. You might be able to bring the kids to Astra, but I'm not sure about Rambo Last Blood. Actually, no, I am sure that you should not bring the kids to Rambo Last Blood. But yeah, Rambo Last Blood. Go check it out, y'all. Have yourselves a good time at the movies. And that, my friends, is a wrap for episode 51 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. It is at this time. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and promote next month's Third Friday show already. The next Bandit show coming up on Friday, October 18th, 7:30 p.m. As you well know, tickets are available already. Yes, tickets are available already. $12 online, $15 at the door. You know me. I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and get your tickets online because we had damn near a sellout last night, and I'm not sure exactly what percentage of those were online versus how many of those were walk-ups to the door. So, if last night's show was any consolation, they're only going to keep getting bigger. What you want to do and what I recommend is that you go online, use the promo code JOHN in all caps, get yourself a ticket discount, come out, have a good time, disconnect yourselves from reality for a little bit. We don't do any religious jokes and we don't do any political jokes. So we try to keep you out. We try to take you out of the world of bullshit for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and just make you laugh. Where can you go to get your tickets? Where you can go to get your tickets is online. www.stagecoachtc.com/stagecoach-bandits. Once again, that is www.stagecoach, T as in Thomas, C as in Coach, youtube.com/stagecoach-bandits. Promo code John. All caps. Come out. Check us out, y'all. And next up, on next week's Real Rush, right here on YouTube, it's episode 52, y'all. And we're going to be celebrating 1 year of the Real Rush on YouTube next weekend. I can't believe that it's been a year already. Hence, I can't believe that I just sat here and did 51 episodes of the Real Rush already. Like I stated last week, I didn't know if I was going to make it 5 episodes, let alone 50, now 51, and we'll see you for 52 next week. So what will we have reviewed for you next week? Looks like we're going to have a little bit of an easy weekend next week. We got 3 new movies on next week's Real Rush ticket. And those are going to be, what we're going to have reviewed for you is, we got Abominable, which is kind of ironic because the very first movie that we reviewed as part of the Real Rush was Smallfoot, which talks about abominable snowmen. If you didn't see it, that's kind of ironic. I'm not sure if that was the actual first movie that we reviewed or if that... I know it was on the first episode, but I'm not sure if that was the first movie we reviewed. But still, that's ironic as hell. So Abominable, we're going to have that reviewed for you. And each time I see this trailer, it does get me a little bit more giddy to see this. So we got that for you. We also have Judy, Renee Zellweger as Judy Garland. I think we're going to have ourselves our first bona fide Best Actress Oscar buzz nominee, whatever you want to say. Even over J-Lo last week, over Hustlers, Renee looked like she's going to pull this one off, at least as a nominee. Not saying she's going to go all the way yet, so we'll have that review for you. And last but most certainly not least, we have a new documentary coming out, Where's My Roy Cohn? This might bring us into a little bit more in depth on not only the life of this, for lack of a better term, despicable man, but who he may have influenced that might be leading some shit nowadays. So that'll be an interesting documentary to see, and I'm actually quite intrigued to see it my damn self. So we're gonna have those 3 movies for you next weekend. But as always, in the meantime, if y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, any shit like that, please feel free to type those on into the YouTube page where you are viewing this week's episode of The Real Rush right here, right now. For those who have subscribed to The Real Rush here on YouTube, thank you for doing so. If you haven't done so thus far, what the hell are you waiting for? You want to be the first one to know when your boy drops a new episode? Please remember, spread the word of The Real Rush like everybody should be spreading love these days, ladies and gents. And don't forget that your boys got you covered over the last year. So any movie that you have or that you're interested in seeing and you want to know what it's all about, The Real Rush has replay value, y'all. All you got to do is go up to the YouTube search bar, in quotation marks, type The Real Rush, followed by, outside of quotation marks, the name of the movie that you're looking for. Boom! Instant movie review on demand. Because The Real Rush got you covered for life, son! And as always, let me get my little wand here. You can follow your old boy on Instagram for my live movie check-ins as they occur, and that is at JDubChampion, hashtag The Real Rush. And for The Real Rush, ladies and gents, I am your boy JDub. Thank you for viewing episode 51. Thank you for joining us another weekend right here on The Real Rush, right here on YouTube. Remember, when you're at the movies, chill out, y'all. There's no need for all the chitter-chatter and the yipping and the yapping. And looking at the smartphones and looking at smartwatches, brightening up the whole room, making it look like daylight in the room. No. I guarantee, put all that away and keep the lips shut, because I guarantee that any conversation and even the time, all that will be waiting for you when the movie's all said and done. Enjoy yourselves at the movies, ladies and gents. Have fun, y'all. Love J-Dub. And